Hello everyone, this is Way here, and I'm going to give you my jungle Amumu guide. This is just a table of contents discussing what I'm going to go over in the video, as well as allowing you to link through the video and hop to various sections that you want to learn more about. I'm currently a 2k elo jungler. I've hovered a little bit above and below 2k, and I've played Amumu in about 44 games with a 73% win rate and a 5.9 KDA. He's a monstrous jungler. He has a fairly safe clear, a little bit threatened from counter jungling. He is able to transition to mid and late game very well, even if he is behind. And if he's behind, he focuses on protecting his teammates, where when he's ahead, he focuses on damaging and controlling the entire team fight. In a lot of cases where the match seems lost, we've had one where I was down 2-11. We were able to turn that around and actually win it. And then games where we're ahead, I'm able to pump out tons and tons of damage, rivaling my AP mid carry. And these are at 2k level games. For runes, I run 9 magic pen reds, 9 flat armor yellows, 9 magic resist per level blues, and 3 flat armor quintessences. This allows me a whole bunch of bulk with the flat armor and the scaling to late game with the magic resist per level, and the magic pen is overall nice for late game when I need to do a little bit more damage. You can swap the flat armor for movement speed, but you need a really strong blue pull. For Masteries, I go 0, 15, 15, for the 15 in defense to pick up stuff like improved armor, bladed armor, reduced damage, as well as increased movement speed. And in the utility tree, I pick up things like improved flash, increased movement speed, improved buff duration, and the extra gold and gold per 10 masteries. For my item build, I start boots 4 health pots, and I try and get as many GP10s as I can before 1230. If you can get all 3, that means generally you're ahead and you can build more damage oriented. After you get as many of the GP10s as you can get, you want to build Merc Treads and a Giant's Belt, because both those will help your overall tanking ability, which you need kind of early on. After that, you start transitioning into a later game, where if you have 3 GP10s, it means you're ahead. You can start rushing things like a Rylai's, a Woda, and an Aegis. If you're behind, you got 2 or less GP10s, you need to immediately start stacking defensive stats: health, armor, magic resist. Once you finish those 3 core items, whatever you need, start upgrading your GP10s that you still have, selling Kage's pick if you need to sell one. For jungle Amumu, the skill order is W, then E, E, and then Q, and you're going to prioritize R, E, W, Q as you level up towards 18. On wolves, just start crying on them, take them out. Generally, you get some help from your lanes. Also on this blue buff, you can take it without a leash, but it helps if you get a leash. It might save you a health pot or 2. Just cry on them, auto attack, and smite when it gets low. Now that you're level 2, you actually have access to W and E, and the way you use that is you'll start crying on them and then immediately hit E at the same time you hit your cry, so that you can actually get your E off before they start attacking you, and that maximizes your DPS. Also, while taking these raids, keep in mind that the enemy jungle might be taking your red, so it might be a good idea before you take them to go check your red. After raids, just walk over to your dogs. They'll respawn. Trust me, it takes 1 or 2 seconds, but they will respawn. Just take them out using the W and E at the same time, and then just Eing whenever you can. Then you're going to go take your red now that your smite's up. Just cry on them, 2 tantrums will kill the small minions, and then pull it into the bush so that you can see if the enemy jungler comes for you. And they actually have to go into the bush to see you as well. After that, the rays will have spawned. Just go take them out, and that'll actually give you level 4. At this point, you want to look for gank opportunities, but if there's no gank opportunities, go towards bottom and just dash over the wall with your Q, kill the double golems at the bottom lane. After that, you're going to actually run up to your top wolves. They should be there. Kill them, and then walk over to your raids. After that, queuing over the wall to get to them. And once you kill the raids there, you're actually going to be able to go back to shop and buy a Philo Stone. And this is about, 4 minutes, 40 seconds in? I can't exactly see the time on it right now. But it's very quick. It's a very quick Philo. So yeah, just kill it using the WE combo, queuing over the wall to get to them, take them out. Go back to base, buy a Philo Stone, maybe a health pot or 2, and then go back to your dogs. You might have to wait a little bit long here, but it's not too long. It's like 3 or 4 seconds. And then you're going to take them out. Then you're going to do rays, and then you're going to do double golems, and then you're going to repeat the cycle. Go back to wolves, rays, double golems. That'll actually give you level 6. And I think the timeline's about 7:20, 7:22. So it's not the quickest level 6, but that's about as quick as Amumu can get. And generally, you're going to actually go into lane and be doing ganks. Also, a thing to note is once you've lost blue buff, you want to stop queuing over the wall to the enemy camps, just because without blue, you tend to run yourself low on mana. And that's why the early Philo Stone does help, because it does allow you to keep your mana up. The other thing to note is that While you're doing this, after level 4, you want to be looking for opportunities to gank. You want to be looking for chances like at the raise here. If the enemy jungler came to gank mid, flash over the wall, Q, and counter gank. The other thing is once you hit level 6, you really need to exert your presence, because once you hit level 6, you have an ultimate. So pre-level 6, you have a slight presence. Post-level 6, you need to have a massive presence. This is the bad start game. We were down 2-12 at one point, and I had to start raised and red buff. Seeing Taric go too far forward, Ahri lands a nice taunt, and I followed up with a Q and an ultimate, and that secures the kill on an Oracle Taric. I then should have backed out and flashed over the wall, but I went too far forward, but thankfully Morgana missed, and so I'm able to just rectify that mistake and flash over the wall, picking up an Oracle's and getting out safely. In this next clip, we think that they're doing Baron because we haven't seen them in a while, and we're lacking a ward on it, and throwing a ward over the wall reveals that they are in fact doing it. I then wait for Fizz to get over here, and in the meantime, Renekton gets incredibly chunked. I then Q over the wall and use an ultimate to secure the kill, and then my team ends up following me over the wall. I then back towards Baron just to make sure that Corki doesn't take as much damage, and I end up dying for it, but it allows Corki to be healthy and allows Fizz to be healthy. And we're able to pick up another kill on Alistar, and then eventually Ashe, turning a Baron attempt into a 3-2 trade for us, and we stop a Baron attempt from an incredibly far ahead enemy team. And Janna lives here miraculously. In this next clip, they're doing Baron again, and we see that from an Oracle effect. While we throw a ward over the wall this time, we're not able to make any plays off it because they kill it too quickly. Ahri throws a nice Q over the wall, but Morgana Shield blocks it. I threw a Q as well, but I missed. And then seeing that they're hovering around, I kind of hover too long, debating if I want to go in. Seeing that they do commit, I run over to the wall, and Ahri ends up getting picked by an arrow here. I immediately move forward to kind of block her in case anyone tries to get onto her. And you'll see through this entire fight, I positioned myself in front. And seeing that Ahri's now close and Corki's close, I ultimate to make sure Morgana can't get to them. And I flash out, making sure that I stay alive as well. This means Corki's healthy, this means Ahri's healthy, and we're actually able to pick up 2 more kills following this. In this next clip, we're waiting for a fight to break out, and Corki ends up getting flashed and stunned and chain stunned with an Ashe arrow. I immediately Q an ultimate, and that allows Corki to get away safely. Now Corki, even though he's low, is able to now, because me and Janna end up saving him, he's able to do tons of damage, and we're able to turn this fight into a huge victory for us. We eventually do Baron off this. And this following clip, I end up queuing towards Morgana, but a shield stops me from actually stunning her, and at this point, it's just good to back off. We end up going for a Baron after this and getting it. Morgana ends up trying to come in here, and this is a lesson in chain stunning, because I knew that Ahri had stunned her. I knew that I could safely Q, even though I was incredibly low health, because she would be so chain CC that she couldn't react to anything. In this next clip, I get revealed in the side bush trying to wait for a fight to erupt, and so I back out and move forward, and Morgana ends up throwing a Q, and seeing it's gonna land, I immediately Q to her instead, and we're able to pick her off with ease. Then seeing Alistar and Renekton going for the carries, I position myself and wait for Renekton to get close, and then use my ultimate. This allows Renekton to immediately die to pretty much Ahri and Corki, and then Fizz picks it up, and we're able to turn the fight into a, I believe this ended up being a 4-0, because we end up actually getting the Morgana due to a Corki Valkyr. In this next clip, I make a mistake, and I Q in when I really shouldn't have, but this just shows how tanky Amumu can be. I end up queuing in here, and I get stunned not only by Taric, but also by Ashe Arrow and an Alistar knockup. And even though the tower's just been on me, and they blew so much on me, I end up living. Here's the good start game. I was able to do a full clear and get 3 GP10s before the 11-minute mark. Seeing that Warwick's about to go into his own jungle, I start attacking him, do a nice E, and then Taric's able to do a stun. I chain this up with my own Q, thinking that I secured the kill, but Janna's shield, so I use my ultimate just to make sure we get the kill. I then back off and we go secure blue, and this is a good time to talk about blue buffs and buffs in general. The buff timer is 5 minutes, so if you know the enemy started at, let's say, blue, they're going to kill it around 2:15, so you can be assured that about 7:15 their blue buff is going to respawn, and so you can kind of position yourself to make plays like I just did off that knowledge. In this next clip, I see Jax coming from the top raid camp, and so I follow up with a Q, land on Ahri, Jax is able to ignite and do some damage, and we pick up a free kill on Ahri in mid lane. In this next clip, I see a fight breaking out at blue buff, and so Jax is kind of tiptoeing around whether he wants to fight, and since I'm there, he now commits. but you can go onto Aurelia, and so I stun her with a Q. And we chase onto her, and I assume that we're going to kill Aurelia here, and as we chase her, it looks that way, but then Warwick ults onto the Jax, so instead of chasing any further after I get stunned, I turn on the Warwick instead, and seeing that he's about to flash over the wall, I shoot out my Q to make sure that he can't do that, and we pick up the free kill on him. In this next clip, Ahri goes too far forward and taunts, and knowing that she's going to continue her combo, I flash over the wall and Q, and this allows us to pick up the kill on Ahri. I use my ultimate just to make sure that she can't get out. In this next clip, we see a fight break out in the top jungle with Jax and Warwick at the red buff, and with Warwick being the enemy jungler, I know that he can't come and stop a Baron attempt, or not a Baron attempt, a Dragon attempt. And so this is just something good to know as a jungler in general, is if you ever see an opportunity where like the jungler, there's two people preoccupied like the Aurelia and the Warwick were, and you feel safe taking the dragon, you can easily take the dragon. In this case, blue is about to respawn, so Ahri's getting in position for it, and I catch her. Seeing Janna in the bush, I use my ultimate a little bit early, but we end up trying to do some damage. Janna gets away, but Mordekaiser comes up and secures that kill. Thinking that we can't really chase much more onto this, especially after they're running away, I kind of back off here. But they end up taunting Tarek and trying to go for him, and so I come back into the fight. Knowing Warwick's not a viable target, I try and get Corki or Ahri instead, and with a bind, we're able to pick up the Corki kill. In this next clip, we know that Mordekaiser's taking blue buff, and so they were kind of forced back into that tri-bush, especially because they threw a ward over. Seeing that they started attacking and seeing how many people were there, I know that I'm going to be able to live just fine, so I just kind of hop over and do some damage. And Jax now comes up, and since they try and chase out a little bit more, I just commit into it, use my ultimate, picking up both Kog'Maw and Warwick. Warwick dies pretty quickly, and Kog'Maw's forced to use a cleanse. We can't chase this any further, so we just secure the dragon now that Warwick's dead. Thank you for watching my Jungle Amumu video. If you have any comments, questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try and get back to answering as many as I can. If you also have replays from the LoL replay system that you'd like me to spectate and commentate on, especially games that are kind of lower in elo where you're trying to figure out how to improve on the game, I can spectate them and I can commentate on them and let you know kind of as like an educational cast rather than a entertainment cast with like the high elo games. So if you have any replay where you want to send me that and I can commentate on it, just let me know, leave me a comment or a message. Also, I have two other videos linked here. This one's an All Arrows Lead to Casting, which is kind of a funny video I did, and one's a Volibear first impression I did when he first came out. If you want to see kind of how I do some videos, you can look at those two, and I plan on doing some other videos, so subscribe if you liked it. Also leave comments, positive or negative, describing like what I could improve on and what you liked. Feedback is greatly appreciated and helps make these videos better as I try and continue making videos. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.